Good afternoon and welcome back to Copper Coins Coin Roll Hunt Reveal E432, a 2025D original wrapped roll. How's everybody doing today? I'm going to draw a chip. Chip number 9. Let me write this note over here. James Valley, welcome. Hope you're doing well. I'm really kind of looking forward to looking through this roll too, Cad. I'm going to open it up right now. All right, we're going to get things started. We got 4 people watching, 2 in the chat. First coin goes to Mickey. Now to find the sweet spot. That's not the sweet spot. It will take a few coins for me to get the light. I think if we do find a double die, it will be a doubled column. Well, that was the ender, so, and like I say, right now, the coins actually look pretty good. That one is showing a little bit better, but yeah, you're kind of right, Cad. The 5 kind of does look kind of crooked, doesn't it? This is actually the same die pair as the last coin. I do have to look at the ears also, because I do think that the one that I've heard is confirmed is a 2025D doubled ear. Yeah, these are not, for the Denver Mint, I've got to say that the quality of these are not great. This right here, though, is actually a planchet bubbles. And you haven't had a lot of planchet bubbles over the last few years. You're right about the reverses, this reverse being mushy, and this is a different die than the last one. Yeah, the details on the reverse are definitely mushy on the coins that we've looked at so far. see if I can't get this a little better. I'm trying to subdue the reflection on the design. That was okay. I'm underexposing it. But you're right. This is... See, now let me look. That, I believe, is on a couple of these. No. That's probably a gas bubble. But even like the LB looks, in the one, looks very soft. The scent looks soft. You guys are correct. It is. Paula, welcome. Good to see you. Nanastacks, welcome to the show. Yeah, these are not... definitely not the highest quality that have come out of the Denver Mint. The design is very mushy and diffused. They are, Paula. And they all have been. I'm trying to figure out, even looking through the glass. I'm trying to find a good dye marker. And it's too mushy. Can't really see anything on any of them. Thought I had one. That is why I have actually been looking at them all through a loop. So how is your eyes doing, Paula? Did your shots work? Yeah, that is crazy how that looks. They are not. They're actually, I actually have the light turned down. If I actually turn the exposure to where the auto exposure goes, you can't see the design on the coins because they glare up too much. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. And for those of you wondering where I've been all week, I'll show you after this coin. I've been showing everybody during the reveal. All right. No, always keep hope. Always keep hope, Paula. Yeah, this is what I've been doing all week. My little baby, we had taken one of them to the groomer, and she decided to be a daredevil and jump off the couch and herniate a disc in her back. So we have been doing aftercare for our oldest puppy. She's just starting now. She can really push up good on her right rear leg. She was totally paralyzed. And she's just starting to use her left leg a little bit. It's going to be a long road. But then, of course, they find that she has Cushing's disease. I think it's Cushing's disease also. But I guess that is treatable. But at her age, it will probably be what takes her from us eventually. She is 11 years old, Paula. IT, welcome to the show. She's my baby. She's that one dog you have in your life that you do stuff you wouldn't necessarily do for all the other pets. That's right. Oh yeah, Jackalope. Congratulations and thank you, Eric SFC. Let me put this note down that we got Jackalope. Do I got a Jackalope up there? Nope. Jackalope. Giveaway E432. Coin 10, the Coin Vault. That's right. Sissy won 2 in a row. That's pretty good. People would be saying I was rigging it if she won again. Yeah, the only, matter of fact, I did look at that. The only double die I have seen so far that I've actually seen that I can say looks like a double die without actually handling it is a doubled earlobe. Do want to remind everybody, having a reveal show at 7, selling 4 rolls. It's just me tonight, so it'll be a quickie. Oh, God, sorry about that. I did that last time. She's cuter than the coins at this point anyways. Cushing's, that's what it is, Cushing's. Yeah, the vet explained that they grow benign tumors on their adrenal gland and they give them some sort of medication for it. But when she had her MRI to find the herniated disc, they found the tumor on her adrenal gland. And I'm like, well, what do we do for that? And well, some people do prescriptions, some people have them operated on, but you have to take them to the university hospital to have the surgery done. And then some people go to oncologists and have them radiated. And I was just like, ugh. I says, so I went to or talked to my internal medicine vet, and he says, at her age, the best bet is medication. Number one, finding somebody to actually do the surgery is almost impossible in animals. And then it turns out a friend of mine, he owns thoroughbred horses that have been retired for like injuries and stuff like that. And they're not worth, studying or breeding. And he's got a horse that's had Cushing's for 7 years now. Yeah, I guess it can cause a little bit of weight gain too on the Cushing's. My one vet always said the dog was obese, and it turns out that the dog is not obese. She's got belly fat, and that's it. When they did the MRI, there was no fat anywhere else. She was all muscle. But yeah, what surprised me was aftercare from the spinal surgery was more than the spinal surgery. But it ain't for the faint of heart, I gotta say that. It is, for the first 3 days, a 24-hour-a-day job, basically. Yeah, I can't get over just how mushy these reverses are. Coin 15, Mark Thomas. I don't know what my wife is cooking me for dinner, but she is driving me crazy right now. It smells so good. Oh, and happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody. I forgot all about that. The best part about this is you can have tacos 2 days in a row. What could be better than that? Got Cinco de Mayo followed by Taco Tuesday. Swamp Dog, welcome. How are you today? Appreciate you joining us. What kind of dog do you have, Swamp Dog? Hungry is a good thing. Yes, it is. It absolutely is a good thing. Did I say farm dog? I am so sorry, Swamp Dog. I did mean Swamp Dog. Bichon, all right. All right. So it's a crossbreed, I would say. Because the vet did say that the smaller dogs had a more a higher chance at developing this than a lot of the bigger dogs do. So anybody got any big plans for this evening besides coming to Copper Coins Coin Roll Hunt Reveal Show? Man, that is just, it is blowing me away at how mushy the bottom of the reverses are on all these coins. Actually, the whole reverse is mushy. Something tells me Paula's having Mexican for Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, yeah. So how are you doing, IT? We haven't heard from you lately. I was thinking about you the other day. Huh. Well, you know, Polly, you're not the only one. I was telling my wife, I says, you ever notice, and I was meaning her, that women get friends and they hang out for a couple of years and then all of a sudden they get different friends. Something comes up. I don't understand it. And then men, you see them, they have friends that they get new friends, but they have friends they've had. I still talk to people that I went to kindergarten with. Well, I don't know why. I think you're all right. People need to. If people worried about themselves more than they worry about what other people do, the world would be a better place. Yeah, I'm not sure why, John. You know, I'm not sure because it's not just that. I think it's the actual hub they're using, Joseph. I'm going to have to get a few more rolls of 2025 and actually really look at them because every coin we've looked at, but the obverse is mushy. It could be a striking issue. I haven't seen any real well struck coins, period, in this roll. But this, like I say, this one is actually better than a lot. A lot of them you haven't even barely been able to see these lines in the bottom of the shield. It could be. It could be. Well, I think I do. Let me see. I don't know if I have one right here. That is the problem. Let me look. I have a plethora of tubes up here, and something tells me that one of these tubes is Zinkins, like this one. Nope, that ain't one. Well, I do not have one handy. Oh, what's this? Nope, that's 2009. Let's see. That's 2009 LP2. I do not have one handy to look at. I only got 500,000 coins sitting right here, and I don't have any like that. Check my pocket. I have no change in my pocket. I have a pocket full of dog treats to try to make the dog do some sort of army crawl through the grass when I take her outside. She's not digging that a whole lot because the grass has been moist because we got rain yesterday. And of course she's dachshund, and dachshunds don't like moisture on their feet or belly. Oh yeah, yeah, and like I say, this is multiple dies. It's every coin in the roll basically so far. Even all right, I did see some. I'm going to start keeping track of something here. Huh, I wonder what's going on. It is more soft at the bottom, Mark, definitely. And it seems to be on everything, but I did find a die crack So just to make sure we're not looking at the same die over and over again. Well, that one is the same as the last coin. This reminds me, I remember doing a 1960 D roll, looking through a 1960 D roll. And 49 out of 50 coins were from the same die pair. How does that happen? Well, I know how it happens. I have an idea how it happens, but what is the chance? Oh. So far, the chance is pretty good. I do remember the 2025 P roll we did only had 3 or 4 die pairs in it. It was not one like a lot of the Shield Sense. They must have a ton of presses running when they're bagging these things up. I mean, but even the obverse isn't. I mean, they're just the Denver Mint lately. That's a different one. God, it does have the die crack, but it is different, and it's still weak. Not as weak. Wait, it almost looks like you're looking through a screen at it. That's crazy. It's hard to say. Has anybody seen, did anybody look at the Mint figures? Are they out for this month? And are they still, did they still make 300 million pennies last month? No new numbers yet. I wonder if that's because they don't have a Mint director telling people what to do. I mean, they do. I know they have somebody filling in. But filling in is a lot different than actually being the director. It's kind of like saying, hey, Bill, fill in for Superman there. It'll be okay. Do ya? I'm kind of with Mike Noodle that the director before her is going to be the director again. But you never know. I do know that her background is in law enforcement, or actually I think prison administration. I think that's what her actual profession is. I haven't got my ANA card number yet. Wonder if it'll be the same number that I had in the past. I did get an email from Al. He says, post office come back and said this address is no good. I says, well, that's my address. It's good as I can get. He goes, okay, well, we'll send it then. You know, eventually they probably will get rid of the penny. Americans are strange birds, Cad. Everybody's like, don't mint pennies, don't make pennies, don't make pennies. But when they tell them that they're going to round up to the highest nickel like everybody else does, they're all going to say, don't you stop making pennies because we don't want to lose 3 cents. They're very easily swayed in decision making in this country. Yeah, I joined the day before the deal. The day before. Should have waited. I don't care. It's just I don't mind giving them money. They probably need the money more than I do. Oh, that's a fact, Paula. You know, that's me and Mike had that conversation that hey, I bet you there's not one person in this chat, including Cad Roll Hunter, that doesn't have a jar of U.S. pennies sitting in their house. Just sitting there. And there probably some, like mine have nickels and dimes in it, but I always take the quarters out. Uh, and I literally have canvas bags full of them. I should take them back, but you know I've got this thing that I'm going to fear of missing out that they're worth 3 cents a piece in scrap metal value, so I should keep them because one day I might want to make a bronze sculpture or something out of them. My dad did have a friend that used to do that. Jar is an understatement. You're drowning in pennies here. Yeah. That's me, Cad. That's me. I tell Chuck, I says, yeah, I just save all my copper. I throw it in the copper bin. And he goes, for what? Just take it back to the bank and get your money back. I says, well, they're worth 3 cents. He says, well, you can't scrap them. I says, I know. I says, technically, you kind of can. I do know that when the Mayan calendar was coming to an end, I did have a prepper that used to buy them for 2.5 cents a piece off of me, but they had to be copper pennies. And he begged and begged to get me to sell silver dimes to him. And I said, just go buy silver dimes at the coin store. I says, my silver dimes that's what I'm using for preppy money or prepper money. You know, because back in the day, they always said a silver dime's a loaf of bread or a gallon of gasoline. I don't think it's a gallon of gasoline anymore. You might be able to get a loaf of bread for it. I don't think that the U.S. Mint has minted coins for other countries in a few years now, Mark. I think that the Bahamas quit minting since a couple years ago. But I think the Royal Mint minted their coins. I do think that we minted some coins for them in the 70s. But I'm not sure if the U.S. Mint still does that. They used to mint coins for a ton of countries. Oh, they did it. Let me see. That should be, not that I trust Google for anything. All right. All right. The answer is the last regularly issued foreign coins manufactured by the U.S. Mint were 1983 Panamanian coins. They did produce foreign coins for other countries. Let's see. For a Leif Erikson commemorative set that was issued in Iceland, and they were manufactured at the Philadelphia Mint. So not anymore. So that's kind of a trick question. So they did make commemorative coins. See, this is a different, I've seen this with that little dyed gouge under the O. So these are different die pairs. There's 3 or 4 different die pairs. It was common in the 70s and 80s. It was really common in the 30s and 40s. They made a ton of coins for other countries. But that could be a good question. 2000, they minted some for Iceland. But it was just for commemorative sets. Have to tell that one to Frosty so he can tell it as a trivia question. Coin 37, Carl. I'm going to be doing the 46D roll tomorrow. That will complete the rolls for this tragedy-filled week. But we're healing fast, so that's good. I would say not. I mean, let's face it. There's a chance because things end up happening all the time, and I think that they're kind of most of the time manufactured on purpose. I don't think it's an accident. You know, kind of like inside information. But I have heard that they make it very difficult to get anything in or out of the mint now. Like, I know that I had a friend that owned a armored car service in the Detroit area. I used to fix his vehicles back in the 80s and 90s. And I asked him, oh God, it was 1997 or 8. I says, do you get error coins or anything like that? And he says, oh yeah. He says, there's a guy that works in the counting room. I just charge him face value for him, and he takes them away. So all the clips and everything else that were rejected by the rolling machine or the counter, he had a guy that worked for him that would buy them all and then just sell them all. And I assume it's like that now, that the armored car service can turn them in for credit or something. And maybe the mint's quality control is better too. But let's face it, they're minting millions of coins a day. It can't be perfect. And it's definitely been less perfect since COVID, for sure. Because double dies and things have definitely become more prevalent. The armored card game robbed. No, never heard of it, Joseph. So the 60D small date roll was pretty decent. This roll's a dud. Next coin, the coin vault. Oh, really? I didn't hear about that. Did they get anything? Uh-oh, my troublemaker's here. We're going to see if we can hold her off for a couple minutes. Guess we can't. How many dozen eggs did they get? That's about right, Mark Thomas. Of course, eggs have come down around me. Not that they're like cheap, but I think they're $4 a dozen now. And I know that a couple months ago they were $12 a dozen. And I don't care. I ain't paying $1 an egg to eat eggs. I'll eat something else. I don't have much compassion for that kind of stuff, so. My big question was, all the eggs went up in price because of bird flu. How come chicken breast and all the other chicken parts didn't go up in price? Were they killing diseased chickens and selling them to us? Or do frying chickens not get the bird flu? It just seemed kind of like a scam to me. Somebody's making some money. And I ain't against that. I mean, this is where you're supposed to make money at. That's right. I'm sure they didn't lose money. Yeah, I'm sure they made record profits. Yes, they may had to kill 1 billion chickens and rehatch them. Well, I can tell you something, Joseph. My wife has been having me work and build a chicken coop for her. And it's not cheap. We'll see. But I don't think it's going to be any cheaper than buying eggs for $4 a dozen. But I could be wrong. She wants them as pets. The eggs are just a benefit. So, and of course, I like making my wife happy, so she gets a chicken coop. Well, somebody told me that it's going to cost me $40 a month to feed 4 chickens. So we'll see. But we get a lot of vegetable scraps and stuff like that, and they eat all that stuff too. But we'll see. I ain't against eating fresh eggs. That is true, Joseph. That is ultimately true. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the person that we've kind of talked to. They're like, my wife wants these special chickens too. They're like ornamental type chickens. They do lay lots of eggs. So her chickens aren't going to be like $10 chickens. She's going to buy them that are already female, so they're going to be 60 or $70 a piece. They're not going to end up in the freezer. They're going to be egg layers and die of old age as pets. Yeah. And we're eating Gladys. What's for dinner, Gladys? Gladys just seems like a chicken name to me. Well, that's it. We can only have 4 chickens here, Mark. We can't produce enough eggs. We're going to have more than we can eat anyways. So, anyways, I want to thank everybody for joining. I hope to see everybody at the reveal show at 7 p.m. Eastern. 4 rolls. We've got these rolls right here. I'll show everybody what we are doing. The first roll is a Crocker Anglo National Bank 63P roll. It is tails, or 63D roll. It was not a good roll for us. Then we got a 55S roll that says that it was purchased by the collector, 12/18 a 63 for $37.50. This was purchased when people thought 55S rolls were going to be worth a ton of money. Another interesting fact was the 60P small date roll, when that roll was purchased, was over $250. The next roll is a 44S plastic tubed roll. And the last roll is this roll. It is tails, so I don't know if it is large date or small date, but it is a California Bank head office in Los Angeles, California roll. So that is it for this reveal. We'll see everybody in an hour. We'll talk to you later.